The secret to drawing others to you, to making yourself so magnetic that people cannot help but notice your presence, lies first and foremost in the development of a definite purpose. No man or woman can become irresistible to others until they become irresistible to themselves. The mind is a broadcasting station, and every thought you harbor, every belief you build, every desire you water, radiates outward and attracts its own kind. You have seen it before. A man walks into a room. He doesn't speak loudly, he doesn't beg for attention, and yet all eyes seem to find him. Why? Because his spirit carries weight. There is direction behind his movement, precision behind his posture, and clarity behind his gaze. That kind of presence cannot be purchased, borrowed, or imitated. It must be built, and the foundation of that building is a definite purpose. To be magnetic is not about charm alone. It is not about wit or beauty, or the luck of social advantage. It is about power, and all power begins in the mind that knows exactly what it wants and why it wants it. Most people float. Most people drift like fallen leaves, moved by the slightest wind of opinion or convenience. But those who become centers of influence are rooted in purpose. They do not react, they act. They do not wish, they will. And their certainty attracts others who crave certainty for themselves. If you want people to follow you, trust you, admire you, and be drawn to you, you must first give your own mind something to follow. You must become the general of your internal army, set your intention. Decide what kind of man or woman you are becoming. Visualize the life you are creating. Let no day pass where you are not moving even an inch toward that vision. When your internal compass is fixed, your external influence grows like gravity. You begin to command without speaking. You begin to attract without asking. People sense direction. They feel intensity. And they respect decisiveness, even if they do not understand it. Your definite purpose does not need the world's approval. It requires only your belief. Most never become magnetic because they wait for someone else to validate them. They need applause before they take the stage, but the people magnet takes the stage because they already hear the applause in their mind. And the world, confused but curious, eventually claps anyway. You must also recognize this. A mind filled with purpose has no room for timidity. Boldness is not recklessness. It is certainty. A definite purpose gives birth to this kind of boldness. You do not need to explain your every move to those who do not share your vision. You do not need to water down your intensity for the comfort of the mediocre. People will question you, let them. They are attracted by your fire, even as they pretend to fear its flame. Study every magnetic individual, and you will find a spine of steel behind their words. Their speech carries conviction because their inner world is fortified, and that strength cannot be forged in one day. It is the result of quiet mornings spent in planning. It is the outcome of deep nights spent in solitude, confronting fears, shaping beliefs, and clarifying goals. This is the hidden cost of becoming magnetic, private sacrifice for public presence. You must build yourself in secret before you shine in public. When you move with purpose, others feel safe in your presence. People follow certainty. In a world of confusion, those who know where they are going become lighthouses. And everyone seeks the light, whether they admit it or not. But purpose alone is not enough. To become a true magnet of people, you must carry the electric current of enthusiasm. There is no substitute for it. Enthusiasm is contagious, and its power lies in its ability to reach the emotional core of others. Logic convinces the head, but enthusiasm awakens the heart, and it is the heart that leads people to move, act, and follow. No man or woman ever inspired another without being on fire themselves. If you wish to gather people around your ideas, your business, your mission, or your message, you must first set yourself ablaze with passion. The dull, the bored, the indifferent, they repel people even if they are skilled or knowledgeable. It is not enough to know. You must feel. Your energy is your advertisement. To be enthusiastic does not mean you must be loud or extroverted. That is a shallow interpretation. True enthusiasm is a vibration. It hums through your voice. It shines through your eyes. It is present in your handshake, your posture, your commitment to detail. When you speak, people lean in. Not because of your volume, but because of the spirit that powers your words. Your belief pulls them forward. Your certainty ignites their own dormant desire. This energy cannot be faked for long. People may be fooled temporarily, but sooner or later, truth always reveals itself. That is why genuine enthusiasm must be cultivated, not performed. You must train your mind to focus on the beauty of what you are building. You must immerse yourself in your vision daily. You must remind yourself, often and loudly, why your work matters, why your purpose counts, why your mission deserves all your effort. This is how you become naturally enthusiastic, not through pretense, but through conviction. A man without enthusiasm is like a machine without oil. He may function, but he grinds. His presence is effortful, strained, dull, but a man full of enthusiasm glides. He brings warmth. He injects energy into conversations, teams, rooms, even silence. He does not have to force his way into circles. Circles form around him. People crave his energy because it reminds them of the energy they have neglected within themselves. To be enthusiastic is not a personality trait, it is a habit. And like all habits, it must be exercised daily. Read what inspires you, speak words of encouragement, cut off conversations that drain your spirit, guard your enthusiasm as a sacred flame, never let the cold water of criticism or failure extinguish it. Every day you walk this earth, you are either adding to your magnetism or subtracting from it. You are either drawing people in or pushing them away, and the fuel for that attraction is your visible, authentic passion. Make this your aim, to walk into any room and elevate its energy, not by boasting, not by commanding, but by being the living embodiment of someone who believes. Enthusiasm is the outer expression of inner belief. You cannot give others what you do not have yourself. So if you wish to influence, to attract, to inspire, fill your own cup first, let it overflow, and let that overflow become the reason others return to you again and again without knowing why. That is the essence of true magnetism if you truly wish to attract people into your life, not for a fleeting moment, but with lasting, genuine connection. Then you must learn one of the most powerful but underestimated arts of influence, deep listening. It is not the man who speaks the loudest who gains the trust of others. It is not the woman who dazzles with words who wins loyalty. It is the individual who listens intently and deliberately who becomes unforgettable. For in a world full of noise, the rarest gift is attention. To listen is to give another person space to feel important. And make no mistake, every soul you meet craves significance. Every man, woman, and child walks this earth asking silently, "Do I matter? Does anyone see me?" The people magnet answers this question not with a speech, but with a gaze, with a nod, with the unmistakable power of presence. When you listen to someone with full attention, without the urge to interrupt or advise, you elevate their worth in their own eyes. And because of this, they are drawn to you with a loyalty that no charm or flattery could ever manufacture. Listening is not weakness. It is not passivity. It is strategy. When you listen, you gather intelligence. You learn what others value, what they fear, what they dream of. You discover the core of their motivation, and when you understand what drives a person, you hold the keys to their heart. Influence, therefore, begins not with speaking, but with hearing. Not with asserting, but with observing. The most magnetic individuals do not need to dominate conversations. They ask questions. They smile when others speak. They leave people feeling like they were the only person in the world for that brief moment. To develop this kind of listening, you must silence the voice of ego. You must remove the need to be right, to correct, to compare, to one-up. These are the habits of the insecure, not the influential. People do not return to those who make them feel inferior or overlooked. They return to those who make them feel seen. Listening is love made audible. It is the most subtle, yet most potent expression of respect. And respect is the cornerstone of magnetism. Consider the leaders who are followed without question. Consider the mentors who live in memory decades after their words are spoken. These are not always the most intelligent or articulate, but they are always the ones who made people feel valued. They listened when no one else did. They looked into eyes, not at phones. They remembered names, stories, details, and for that they were remembered. Listening deeply also builds your own wisdom. The more you understand people, the more you understand the world. You cannot lead people you do not understand. You cannot influence what you have not studied, and you cannot inspire what you have ignored. Every conversation is an opportunity to build your inner library of human behavior. Every word another adds is a clue, a code, a piece of the puzzle. You are either gathering this treasure or squandering it, and those who gather it build empires, not only of wealth, but of human connection. Yet, listening alone is not enough. If you wish to become magnetic to others, you must combine it with something even more commanding, unshakable self, confidence. No one is drawn to weakness. Sympathy may attend the frail, but admiration follows strength. And the kind of strength that attracts, that compels, that leads, it is built from the inside out by discipline, not chance. Confidence is not noise. It is not arrogance. It is not posturing or pretense. True confidence is silent, immovable, calm. It is the quiet knowing that you are capable, regardless of applause or criticism. It is forged in the fire of consistent effort. The man who wakes before the world to study his craft, who keeps promises to himself, who finishes what he begins, that man becomes magnetic. Why? Because he is rare. Because discipline, in a world addicted to comfort, stands out like gold in the dust. You build self-confidence by doing hard things, by choosing what strengthens you over what soothes you, by confronting your flaws instead of hiding them. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching, you cast a vote for the kind of person who commands respect, and that person attracts others not through effort, but through presence. People feel it in your tone, in your walk, in your decisions. They feel safe near you, not because you pretend to be perfect, but because you trust yourself. When you walk with self-assurance, others do not need to question your authority. When you speak with calm certainty, others listen without needing explanation. When you hold yourself to high standards, others raise theirs to match you. You do not need to chase attention. You become the standard that others want to meet. That is what makes you magnetic, but there is no shortcut to this kind of confidence. It does not come from motivational quotes or surface-level affirmations. It is built from the repetition of self-mastery. Waking up early, eating with discipline, honoring your time, sharpening your mind, strengthening your body, living with integrity. Every time you do these things, even when you do not feel like it, you harden your spirit. You become dependable to yourself, and that dependability radiates. It sends a signal into the world: I am a fortress, not a feather in the wind. People are drawn to those who carry themselves as if they do not need anything from others. That kind of inner independence is rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. When yourself, worth no longer depends on external praise, you walk lighter, speak bolder, and give more freely. This is the paradox of magnetism. The less you need others to like you, the more they are compelled to. Confidence repels desperation. It attracts opportunity. You do not need to dominate a room to command respect. You only need to enter it with the posture of a person who has conquered themselves. You only need to speak with the tone of someone who has done the inner work. Others may not be able to explain why they are drawn to you, but they will be, because confidence is not what you say. It is what you are, and what you are echoes louder than any speech. To become a people magnet, you must become the kind of person others trust. Not because you tell them to, but because you embody trustworthiness. not because you ask for attention, but because your presence demands it. And that transformation begins not in the presence of others, but in solitude. It begins with the decisions you make when no one is clapping. It begins with whether or not you hold the line when your comfort tempts you to break it. That is where confidence is born. That is where magnetism begins to take root. To walk through life with magnetic power, you must become a carrier of positive expectation. You must train your mind, your voice, your manner, and your entire presence to radiate the assumption that good things are not only possible, but inevitable. People are not drawn to pessimists. They do not rally around those who anticipate failure. The world is already full of gloom. The magnetic personality is the antidote to that gloom. They lift heads. They spark hope. They shift the emotional temperature of every room they enter. The magnet does not deny reality, but he reshapes it. He acknowledges challenges, but speaks in the language of victory. He addresses problems, but fixates on solutions. He does not complain about the weather. He builds a shelter. He does not fear the storm. He becomes the captain. This kind of attitude is rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. You must understand that people are not logical first. They are emotional. They seek energy more than information. If your energy feels like light, they will be drawn to it even before they hear your words. If you wish to become a people magnet, you must see yourself as a walking generator of optimism. You must become the source of good news. When others are doubting, you are believing. When others are quitting, you are persisting. When others are whispering fear, you are speaking faith. This does not mean you are blind to reality. It means you have made a decision to shape reality rather than be shaped by it. You have become a thermostat, not a thermometer. You do not simply reflect the energy around you. You set it. You've encountered these individuals. They walk into chaos and bring calm. They walk into hopelessness and bring vision. Their voice carries the weight of someone who refuses to bend under pressure. Their demeanor is a quiet anchor in a sea of panic. These individuals are magnetic because they are needed, and they are needed because they bring what most people lack: clarity, faith, peace, and momentum. They do not gossip. They do not speak of loss. They do not complain about others. They speak of possibility. They speak of greatness. They call people to rise, and people follow because their voice reminds them of what they had forgotten within themselves. To become this person, you must first master your internal dialogue. You cannot radiate positive expectation to others if your own mind is polluted with fear, doubt, and negativity. You must learn to guard the gate of your thoughts like a watchman in the night. Refuse entry to any idea that weakens you. Reject every narrative that tells you it's too late, too hard, or not worth it. Replace it with thoughts of abundance, power, and opportunity. Read what strengthens you. Listen to what builds you. Speak to yourself as a champion would. You are either feeding your inner magnet or dulling it with every thought you accept. Your words are seeds. When you speak, you plant expectations in the minds of others. You are either planting weeds or planting roses. Choose consciously. Speak of your goals as if they are already on the way. Speak of the people in your life as if they are rising, not falling. Speak of your future as if you are building it with certainty. People will begin to associate you with progress. They will come to you when they need vision, and that is when you know you are becoming magnetic. Not because you shout, but because your energy speaks louder than any volume could. Carry yourself as if something great is always just around the corner. Walk like you expect good news to arrive today, not because life is always easy, but because you are always ready. People will feel that energy, and they will want to be around it. No one enjoys the company of the perpetually bitter. The magnetic person uplifts without effort, because they have conditioned their mind to see what is right, even when surrounded by what is wrong. Do not misunderstand, this is not a mask. It is not the performance of positivity, it is the practice of belief. You must train this into your nature. Just as muscles are built in the gym through resistance, positive expectation is built through adversity. When things go wrong, you choose to believe. When doors close, you decide they are guiding you elsewhere. You develop this not because life makes it easy, but because you have made it necessary. And people gravitate toward those who can smile in the storm without losing their strength. But there is one final law to becoming truly magnetic, one last principle that, if ignored, will dismantle all the others. You must refuse to criticize, condemn, or complain. Nothing repels people faster than the constant drip of negativity disguised as honesty. Words are forces. Every sentence you utter either builds a bridge or builds a wall. Every opinion you express either opens doors or closes them. If your language tears down others, even when they are not present, you signal that no one is safe in your presence. That breeds distrust. Distrust repels influence. The magnetic person does not waste words on tearing others down. They are too focused on building something of their own. They understand that criticism is a cheap currency. It buys momentary superiority but loses long-term loyalty. You do not become powerful by pointing out weakness in others. You become powerful by empowering others through restraint, humility, and focused attention on your own development. If someone fails, you learn. If someone succeeds, you congratulate. You speak with discipline. You elevate when others diminish. You do not join the crowd that laughs behind backs. You walk away from that table, and in doing so, you set a new standard. This requires emotional discipline. The temptation to complain will come often. You will be wronged. You will be misunderstood. You will be passed over. And in those moments you will feel the pull to vent, to lash out, to seek sympathy. But every time you resist that pull, your internal power increases. Every time you choose to respond instead of react, your leadership multiplies. People may not say it aloud, but they will feel it. They will trust you, admire you, follow you, because they know your silence is not weakness, but strength under control. Gossip is the poison of influence. Complaining is the language of powerlessness. Condemnation is the disguise of insecurity. The person who has mastered themselves no longer needs to do these things. They are not interested in small talk that tears others down. They have vision. They have purpose. They are building something that demands all their energy, and that energy is sacred, so they protect it. They do not allow toxic conversations to pollute it. They do not give their opinion on every controversy. They do not attack those who disagree. They rise above it, not because they think they are better, but because they know they are different. People are drawn to those who speak life, who carry peace, who bring ideas instead of complaints. Solutions instead of problems, discipline instead of drama. They may not always agree with you, but they will respect you. They may not understand your silence, but they will admire your restraint, and slowly, without force, without manipulation, without persuasion, you become magnetic. You become someone others seek when they are ready to rise, when they are tired of gossip, tired of fear, tired of smallness. They remember your example, and they come to stand near your fire, hoping some of it might ignite their own to become a true people magnet, cultivate deep listening that honors others, and build unwavering self-confidence forged through discipline. Radiate positive expectation that uplifts every room, and practice the power of restraint by refusing to criticize or complain. These principles, when mastered, transform your presence into an irresistible force that draws others naturally, not by force, but by authenticity. Influence begins within, in the silent battles you win over fear, doubt, and negativity. Become the person who sees value in others, trusts themselves completely, and leads with hope. In doing so, you unlock the timeless secret of magnetic connection that shapes destiny itself.